We were living at 229 South Kingsley Drive, and he thought the three of us were very musically talented.
Naturally. Well, our mother was a very good pianist.
And Annie also.
Well, and Annie, but...
And anyway, he wanted to buy a piano for the three of us. So he goes up to Temple Hill Drive. An auction. Just prior to that, Mary Astor, who a lot of the young kids don't realize was a very famous actress then, but she gave the house to her father, and he mortgaged it and put in this 108-foot swimming pool. And he put water into it just as the market crashed. So there was owed about $22,000 or 20-some to the Security First National Bank. Anyway, my dad went to an auction for the furniture to buy us a piano. And when he got up there, the auctioneer felt it'd be better to sell the house first, and then whoever bought the house may buy the piano and everything else. So when they opened up the auction at the minimum price that the bank was owed, $22,000, I guess my dad raised his hand.
Well, just to start the bidding. I mean,
Start the bidding.
It was a shill.
He was a shill for the bank.
Well,
Nobody outbid
The
him.
depths
Nobody
of
ever
the
said
Depression,
anything else.
nobody had any money.
So he came back with a house and no piano.
And I read an article that it actually said
you.
the value at the time was like $320,000. So he
Got a
Of
great
the
deal.
house.
That's
Got a
right.
great
At the
deal.
I
time.
don't
No,
think
I don't
so.
think so.
No.
I don't think anything was
Maybe in
But he put about $20,000 into the pool in the backyard and all that. Built a lower garage. We had a two-car garage and a one-car garage, and under the one-car garage was a chauffeur's quarters, and this 108-foot swimming pool.
But the lot went like this.
Yeah, built on a lot, an acre lot in Hollywood,
Nice view.
and we used to dive off the top.
You
Lisa
used
loved
to.
that.
No, the rest of us didn't do it. You did it.
Well,
It held up one side of the swimming pool. An enormous rock
but they were
wall.
good times for us
To
kids.
dive off the top of that took.
Henry had a question. Do any
Henry had
other
a question.
young people
Henry.
have any questions?
When was it built? Do we know when it was built?
Oh yeah, 1927.
So wasn't that old?
And the
when you
first
bought it?
renter was a spec house. Charlie Chaplin rented it first.
I'm sorry,
Rented.
can't hear the question from
Charlie Chaplin rented the house first because the builder of Temple Hill Drive didn't build it for a person. He built it as a spec. You know,
And we do
everybody
have-
was wealthy in 1927, 28, in the middle of 29.
And I never thought Charlie Chaplin actually lived there,
We
but
have
the
pictures.
new owner brought out these pictures, and it's Charlie Chaplin standing in
the
his
front porch?
pajamas or something on the porch, you know, on the side
But I do
porch
think he
there.
rented it. Yeah, he rented it.
I want to ask a question. Does
Yeah.
anybody know where the architect of Temple Hill Drive is buried?
No.
Good question.
But Andrew probably knows. He owns it now.
Why, is that a question, or do you
I
know
know
the
the
answer?
answer.
to it?
Oh, you know the
Apparently.
answer. Ooh.
I know the answer. It's a
love-
woman.
Uh-huh.
She was one of the lesser, not Scientologists.
Yes,
what
there
were-
was a religious-
Theosophists.
The Theosophists, one of the lesser
Theosophists.
Theosophists, and she's buried
Culver City.
at Dayton
A lot of people are
Four
buried in Culver
Corners.
City. Oh, where?
She is buried at Dayton Four Corners, 5 miles outside of Chico.
She was a woman who was involved in the Theosophist Society and was their architect, and they bought that whole area, a chunk of area near there.
why it was
and
called
built-
Temple Hill.
I'm sorry, what?
That's why it was called
Temple Hill, because they built these temples for the Theosophists, and she did all of those buildings in that at that time.
Not all of them, but quite a few.
Quite a few.
Younger generation with the Theosophists.
Religious group.
They were a spiritualist group that started in the late 1800s
Believed in
by a woman named Madame Blavatsky and a few other
Got a real
odd
researcher.
people. I just know because I read a book.
You go up front if you
And anyway, they believed in spiritualism, and they're the first New Ageists. They tried to meld Eastern philosophy and Western philosophy and Western Christianity, and had this kind of odd religion. They believed
that
in
was their-
spirits and ghosts, did seances and what have you.
Yeah, their first headquarters were in Europe.
It was very popular to be a Theosophist.
Those days.
They were,
I don't know, but
and they had one place in the East Coast, but then they selected that Hollywood Hills as their West Coast
Really?
society. Their whole, and they ended up actually abandoning that about 20 years later for what, Ojai?
Yes,
They moved
Ojai.
down to La Jolla,
Ojai.
and they actually got some of that prime, and that's why some of the New Age stuff is still down there. Is because, and there's
the most
actually, they
famous-
believed in science and philosophy as centered around man, and they actually built a laboratory to where they did actual laboratory tests to see the origin of the man's spirit in men.
Our
And it's
astral plane came from these guys. They originated the term. But their most famous person, everyone probably has heard of, well, maybe not the kids, is a guy named Krishnamurti who died, I think, in the 1980s. He was a little Indian boy that they went and basically bought from India off the Ganges River. And they brought, because they felt the spirits told them that he was the next, he was a very important spiritual figure. And so Krishnamurti, little kid, and his brother came to the United States, and they basically kind of trained him up to be a thing. And it turned out that Krishnamurti ended up, turning his back on the spiritualists because he probably they're exploiting him. But he did become a very important philosopher, and there's lots of followers to this day of Krishnamurti. And he did become a valid philosopher.
Wait, to pull it back to the house, near the lab is just a couple blocks from Temple Hill Drive, and like I said, the architect, to bring full circle, is
Buried in Chico.
buried a couple miles from where you now live.
Wow.
I mean, talk about full circle.
Yes, absolutely.
I will say about one thing about the house too. When we moved in, every window, it was black as pitch black inside because every window was stained glass.
Tiffany, Lewis Comfort Tiffany.